Hey everyone, how you doing this morning? It's Marla. Hopefully everybody is doing well. And yes, I am still in my cast. This is actually going up a week later than I filmed. So I'm actually going to see my doctor tomorrow. I think they may be taking the stitches out of my arm tomorrow. And I guess tomorrow is kind of the big reveal as to what my arm's going to look like. I have this horrible feeling it's going to look really ugly with a giant plate in it with scars. I don't even want to know what it looks like. I'm a little getting myself a little freaked out about it. But anyway, I did a video a while ago about recently seeing that my numbers came up pre-diabetic, and I was kind of shocked at that because I thought I ate fairly well. I am really thin and underweight and I have no fat on my body, but I thought just to be on the safe side, I'm going to treat it as if it really is a pre-diabetic warning for me. Now, at first I thought it might be the autoimmune late onset diabetes type 1, but I recently bought myself off of Amazon a glucometer. I think that's how you say it, a glucose meter to check my sugar throughout the day. And I've been checking my sugar throughout the entire day after every meal, and my sugar is perfect. So maybe I was just eating a little bit more sugar than I should have been when I got that A1C done. I don't know, about 2 months ago, but I have been very strict recently about cutting back on regular sugar, cutting back on some carbs, not all carbs. I know some people suggested I go on a carnivore diet. There is no way in hell I will do that. I don't like meat that much. So for me to go on a carnivore diet would just be like, I don't know, it would make life not enjoyable for me. That's the best way to put it. I still eat some grains, although I have cut back a lot on my grains, and I have incorporated more protein into my meals, and I've definitely cut back on sugar. If I do want a sugary treat, I will have what I've always hated doing. I will have a no sugar or zero sugar, maybe a little piece of chocolate. That's it. There are, I think, alcohol sugars in those type of sweets. However, I have read that they really do not spike your blood sugar at least as far as the readings that I've read about. I will show you kind of what I've been doing to modify my diet. This is going to be a what I eat in one day video when you are pre-diabetic and you don't want to go on a carnivore diet and you want to kind of eat the same things you were normally eating before, just modified a little bit. That's what this video is about. I'm going to show you the glucometer that I got. I'm going to show you me taking one reading, and then I'm also going to show you what I ate in one of my days. Thanks for all the well wishes for my arm. I really appreciate it. You know, for somebody who has fibromyalgia and small fiber neuropathy, having more pain is like the last thing you want to have, and I can honestly say that my arm has really been keeping me awake at night. It just burns and it's just so uncomfortable still. I'm hoping over time I don't have to deal with this and I can go back to getting at least a decent night's sleep again. Sleeping at night was my one kind of treat to get away from my fibro pain and everything, and now I'm up in the middle of the night, you know, watching old movies just to kind of pass the time because I'm awake and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and my arm is burning. That is my intro for this video, what I eat in a day. I hope you enjoy it. Take care, guys, and let's get started with the video. When I first wake up in the morning, the first thing I have is a giant cup of coffee. I have not modified this too much. The only thing that I've done differently is instead of using a regular creamer that has sugar in it, I am now using a zero sugar creamer. It's not the same to me, does not taste the same. I don't enjoy it as much, but the consistency is a little bit like regular creams. That is the only modification I've made to my coffee. To my coffee, like I used to do before, I am still adding some of my collagen. I really think that helps my hair. I also love this Laird's Superfood Creamer. I add probably about a little over of a giant teaspoon of that in there. And I love just a half a teaspoon of this organic protein. With the amount I use, it's literally 0 carbs because I don't use a scoopful. I only use, like a teaspoon. So that is what I mix all into my coffee along with the creamer. It actually holds me for several hours. I'm really not hungry then until probably closer to, I would say, 8:30 or 9 o'clock. having a later breakfast this morning. I normally am used to eating 2 slices of toast with some cereal. The way I've modified my diet is I've switched out my old bread for this particular bread. This is called Sola bread. It does have 2 grams of net carbs. And let's flip it over and look at the back. I have 2 slices of this. Each slice is 70 calories, total fat 4 grams. The total carbohydrates are 7 grams, so I guess you would multiply that by 2, so a total of 14 grams. Dietary fiber is 4 grams, multiply that by 2, and then also 0 total sugar, but I guess it does have 1 gram of sugar alcohol. For 1 slice, if you add that all up, you're supposed to be getting 2 grams of net carbs. So I am using 2 slices, so I'm assuming I'm getting 4 grams of net carbs. And the protein I am getting is 5 times 2. That would be 10 grams. That is part of my morning breakfast. My breakfast is probably the most carb-laden portion of my day. I'm also going to use one of my favorite cereals. I am a cereal eater. Sorry about that. I know a lot of people think cereal is garbage, but I do have to eat some cereal because I need that extra fiber. I am on an opioid patch. If you've never taken opioids before, you will not understand this, but you will get severely constipated if you are not careful. So you need lots and lots of roughage and fiber. I'm going to toast my bread, and then I do use this butter. I love this Land O'Lakes. For the cereal, what I use is some shredded wheat, probably maybe about 1/4 of a cup of shredded wheat. I put in a very small bowl. I have a tiny bowl of cereal. And then a new discovery of mine is this Magic Spoon grain-free cereal. It has 0 total sugars, 5 net carbs, and 13 grams of protein. Probably my favorite flavor is the blueberry. You can see the total carbohydrates are actually 15 grams, 0 sugars, 13 grams of protein, which is actually pretty good. But I guess they figure in the fiber and everything, and that's how they get the net carbs. I'm going to put a little bit of almond milk on this, and then that is my breakfast for the day. Okay, for lunch, I'm going to take one of these spring roll skins. The serving size on this is 6 pieces, 160 calories. I'm only going to have 1, so that's hardly anything. And then I'm going to add not 4 eggs for me. 2 of those eggs are for my dogs, but I am going to use 2 eggs, some cheese, some avocado, and some spinach. And I'm going to kind of make like sort of a tortilla using this spring roll skin. Also add just a little bit of Asian chili oil. Now I am still cooking with 1 hand. Normally you want to flip this over very quickly so that the skin is nice and crispy. I actually overcooked this. You don't want that because then it's going to get very gummy and chewy. But this was my breakfast: 2 eggs, avocado, cheese, spinach, and one of these skins. It looks very unappetizing right now. Like I said, cooking with 1 left hand only, guys. But it actually is quite good. Around 4 p.m., I have a little bit of a treat. I have some of this whole milk plain Greek yogurt, and I put in some fresh blueberries with that, probably about 1/3. No, that's probably more like 1/4 of a cup. I have that as an afternoon treat. I really love it. It's delicious, and it's very filling. Now for dinner, what I am doing, I'm going to boil some water, and I'm also going to heat up a pan. In the water, I'm going to place some veggie pasta. Don't let the veggie fool you. It still has a lot of carbs in there, but I have a way of sort of diluting some of those carbs by adding some of this veggie spiral zucchini. I heat this frozen zucchini up. And then what I do is I place that in the bottom of my pasta bowl, and to that I add my veggie pasta and probably about 1/4 of a cup of basil pesto with some Parmesan cheese. By adding the zucchini to the pasta, it really dilutes a lot of those heavy carbs, and you still feel like you're getting full because you feel like you just ate a giant bowl of pasta, but in reality you ate zucchini mixed with pasta. That is what I've been doing lately when I want to have pasta, but I don't want to have a giant bowl of it because I'm worried about it raising my blood glucose. Then at the end of the day, if I do have a sweet tooth, I grab one of these Russell Stover's sugar-free. Ugh, always hated sugar-free stuff, but that's what I'm doing right now. Grab one of those. Now it does have some carbohydrates in it and some sugar alcohol, even though it is considered sugar-free. So it may be a little hard to see this, but what they normally tell you to do is, as you can see, my right hand is still uber swollen. It looks like a giant kind of fat claw. I think they still have I don't know if this is betadine or whatever it is they used on my hand to make sure there was no bacteria on this whole area when they were doing the operation. But you can see it's still a disabled hand. This is the hand I'm going to get my blood from. So I'm going to run the water a little bit and get it a little warm. I'm going to make sure my hands and my fingertips in particular, you may not be able to completely see me doing this, but I'm just rubbing my fingertips with some soap, and I'm going to run some warm water over my hands just to kind of get the blood flowing to those fingertips. So I'm not quite sure which fingertip yet I'm going to take the blood from. I am a big chicken, so God forbid if I ever really do have to give myself insulin injections, I am going to be freaking out. You know, everything is off there. There's no creams or anything like that left over, and then I rinse that off with really some warm water. And then I'm just going to kind of rub my fingers a little bit to make sure the blood is flowing to them. And then I'm going to make sure my hands are really dry. So let me do that right now. So you may not be able to see everything I'm doing because it's just really hard for me to operate everything with this one bad right hand. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these lancets out of the box, if you can see that. And then I'm going to take this little device that I'm going to unscrew this part of it. And this is where the lancet goes in. So I'm going to kind of line that up a little bit and then hear it click in there. There we go. It's in now. And then I'm going to unscrew this top and just expose the needle, if you can see that. And then I'm going to screw the top back on. If you look right here, you can see this shows the depth that the needle will go in. The lower the number, the less of a depth it's going to go into your skin. However, right now, because my hands are so calloused from being in that cast, I ended up having to put mine to 4.5 in order to get blood out of my finger. It was just really difficult. Before I poke myself with this, I'm going to take out my device. I can get it out with my left hand. Bear with me here. It's always an effort because I really, like I said, they don't want me using this right hand for much of anything. As you can see right now, it is turned off, but I'm going to take out one of these test strips, and you want to make sure you check the date on the bottle to make sure the bottle is not expired, and mine is still good. Take out one of the test strips with a clean finger, and then make sure you reseal that right away because you don't want a lot of air or humidity getting in there. This is what the test strip looks like. The pointy end is where the blood goes on, and then this little other end actually goes into the machine. I'm going to put that, you can see my boo-boo still from my fall. Sorry guys, it's pretty ugly. You should see the scar on my elbow. It's really terrible. Press this in, and then when you press it in, it starts the device. So now all I have to do is poke myself, which is always enjoyable, but no, I shouldn't say that. It really isn't that bad. So let me find a spot I'm going to use. Maybe I'll use, let's see, maybe I'll try to use this side right here. I'm going to rub that to get the blood flowing a little bit. And then I'm going to prime this. And the way you prime it is you just kind of pull this back until it clicks a little bit. pull back. I really have to kind of press this onto my finger really tight. And then I'm going to push this button right here and it's going to eject the needle into my finger. So let's do that. And that really didn't hurt much, but let's see if I got enough blood. And that should be enough blood, if you can see that. Yep, I think that's enough. And then I'm going to just load that onto the end here of this strip. Hopefully that's enough. And it's going to count down. And it gave me a reading. All right, 135. That's actually quite good for an hour after eating. I think normal blood glucose should be under 140 about an hour after meals. That is not too bad. I'm impressed with my blood sugar. Pretty darn good. I love this device. This device, if you are somebody that is concerned about sugar or worried about your sugar, I know they have these automatic ones now that are constantly taking your blood glucose, and it's a skin patch that you put on the side of your arm. However, you need a prescription for that, and you really do have to be, I think, diabetic, not pre-diabetic, in order to get that device because it is expensive. This device is great. It was only $25 on Amazon. And then all you do is I unscrew this. Normally what you should be able to do is press this down and the little needle should come out and eject, which it did. And then I push that back. I don't really take my blood glucose that much, so I don't need a giant sharps container for all my dirty, bloody little lancets. All I do is replace kind of the little tip. All I do is then I take this lancet and I put it in a little plastic container. What I put mine in is an old kind of Tylenol bottle. And then once that bottle is filled up with lancets, I'm going to put some tape on it. And I think you have to mark it somehow, like do not open or something like that. And you never put this in recyclables. You always put it in the garbage because you don't want this to be recycled because it has blood products on it. But that's it. I absolutely love this device. It has really kind of eased my mind about my diet and my sugar. If you're somebody that's also watching what you're eating because of sugar, you may be pre-diabetic like me and you're just trying to watch your sugar, I would definitely recommend getting one of these devices. They're super cheap, $25 off of Amazon. And obviously you still want to check with your doctor because you want to use a regular doctor's lab or a regular medical lab to make sure that your device is reading accurately. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video on what I eat in a day, being pre-diabetic. Take care. Bye-bye from Marla.